Everyone wants that perfect Instagram photo in Joshua Tree. You know the one, the modern all-glass cabin in the middle of nowhere. I booked one for a solo weekend to disconnect. It was beautiful, sure. But as soon as the sun went down, those floor-to-ceiling windows stopped being a luxury and started feeling like exposure. There was a welcome binder on the kitchen island. Standard stuff, Wi-Fi password, checkout times. But there was a handwritten note clipped to the front page. Don't mind the figures on the horizon. They are part of my art installation, Silent Watchers. They don't move. I looked out. Sure enough, about 100 yards out, I could see dark, jagged silhouettes standing among the cacti. Creepy, but art, right? Night fell hard. A desert storm started brewing around 11 p.m. The wind was howling, slamming sand against the glass. I turned off all the lights inside to see out, but it was pitch black. I felt like I was in a fishbowl. I eventually fell asleep on the couch, facing the desert. I woke up to a sound. Tap, tap, tap. It was coming from the glass wall right in front of me. The storm had died down, and the moon was out. My heart stopped. One of the Silent Watchers was standing right there, inches from the window. It was a mannequin, a grotesque, sun-bleached plastic torso, draped in tattered rags. Its head was tilted at an unnatural angle, staring blindly into the living room. The wind, I told myself. The wind must have blown it over. It was heavy, but the gusts were strong. I refused to go out there. I just pulled the blinds and waited for sunrise. Morning came. The desert was calm. I went outside to inspect the thing, planning to drag it back to its spot. I walked up to the mannequin. It was heavy, solid wood base. No way the wind moved this 50 yards. That's when I looked down at the sand. My blood ran cold. The sand around the base was disturbed. There were boot prints, deep, fresh boot prints. But they didn't lead to the mannequin. They started behind it and led away into the canyon. Someone hadn't just moved it. Someone had used it as a shield. I've driven the I-95 route down to Florida a dozen times. Usually I power through the night, but this time, a blown tire outside of Savannah set me back 4 hours. By 2 a.m., my eyes were burning, and the coffee wasn't working anymore. I pulled into the first place I saw with a vacancy sign lit up. It was called the Starlight Inn, but half the neon letters were burnt out, so it just read, Star Inn. The lobby smelled like stale cigarettes and lemon cleaner. The night clerk, a guy with greasy hair and skin that looked like he hadn't seen the sun in years, didn't even look up from his TV when he slid me the key. Room 114, round back. Checkout is at 11, he mumbled. I just wanted a bed. I didn't care about the service. I parked my car in front of room 114. It was on the ground floor, facing the woods behind the property. As soon as I opened the door, a wave of heat hit me. The air conditioning was off, and the room was stiflingly hot. But worse than the heat was the smell. It was faint, but distinct. A sickly, sweet, musky odor, like old garbage left out in the sun, mixed with cheap air freshener. I cranked the AC unit, which rattled to life with a deafening clank, and tried to ignore the smell. I told myself it was just old carpet or maybe mold in the walls. I was too tired to argue. I double-locked the door, threw my bag on the table, and collapsed onto the bed. The mattress was stiff, and the sheets felt slightly damp, but I was out within minutes. Sometime around 4 a.m., I woke up. The AC had rattled itself off, and the room was dead silent again. But I wasn't alone. I could hear something. It was a soft, rhythmic sound coming from right below me. Shallow, wet breathing. My heart started pounding against my ribs. I lay frozen, staring at the popcorn ceiling, trying to rationalize it. It's the pipes, I thought. It's the couple in the next room. I eventually drifted back into a restless sleep, plagued by nightmares of being suffocated. When I woke up for real, it was 9 a.m. The sun was cutting through the thin curtains, illuminating dust motes dancing in the air. The smell was worse now in the heat of the morning. It was unbearable. I felt nauseous. I decided to skip a shower and just get the hell out of there. I was packing my bag when I dropped one of my AirPods. It bounced off the nightstand and skittered under the bed. "Great," I muttered. I got down on my hands and knees and lifted the dusty bedskirt to reach for it. My hand brushed against something warm, not carpet. Skin. I recoiled, yanking the bedskirt up fully. I screamed, scrambling backward until my back hit the wall. Zip-tied to the metal frame of the bed, pressed up against the mattress slats, was a man. He wasn't dead. His eyes were wide open, bloodshot and terrified, staring right at me. A thick strip of gray duct tape covered his mouth. He had been there the whole time. I had slept on top of him while he struggled to breathe. But that wasn't the twist. The man wasn't looking at me anymore. He started making frantic, muffled noises, shaking his head violently. He was staring past me, eyes locked on something behind my shoulder. I felt a cold draft on my neck. I slowly turned my head toward the closet door, which I was sure I had closed last night. It was now wide open, and from the darkness inside, a hand reached out, holding the master key to my room. There is nothing quite as lonely as an international airport terminal at 3 a.m. I was stuck in Chicago O'Hare on a 6-hour layover, waiting for a flight to London. The terminal was a ghost town, just endless rows of empty vinyl seats and the low hum of the industrial air conditioning. I was the only person at gate B12, doom-scrolling on my phone, trying to stay awake. The silence was broken by a notification sound. A window popped up on my iPhone screen. AirDrop request. Unknown user wants to share a photo. I frowned. Usually people turn AirDrop off, but I had left mine on everyone after a conference. I assumed it was a glitch, or maybe some bored kid in another terminal trying to meme people. I hit decline. 10 seconds later, the request popped up again. Same user. Curiosity, or maybe boredom, got the better of me. I hit accept. The image loaded. My stomach dropped. It wasn't a meme. It was a photo of me. Taken from behind, maybe 3 rows of seats back. I was sitting exactly where I was now, head down, looking at my phone. I whipped around, standing up so fast I knocked my carry-on over. "Hello?" I yelled out. My voice echoed down the empty corridor. There was nobody there, no hiding spots, just open space and glass walls. I scanned the upper-level balconies, empty. My heart started racing. I sat back down, my thumb hovering over the settings to turn AirDrop off. Ding. Another request. I didn't want to accept it, but my thumb slipped. The photo loaded instantly. This one wasn't of the airport. It was a photo of a front door. My front door, in daylight, taken from the bushes across the street, and then a text file appeared. Nice place. The spare key is still under the turtle statue, right? Panic set in. I grabbed my bag and sprinted toward the TSA checkpoint, about 5 minutes away. I found a sleepy security guard near the metal detectors. I shoved the phone in his face, stammering about a stalker. He looked at me like I was crazy. "Sir," he said slowly, "airdrop only has a range of about 30 feet. If someone sent this, they'd have to be standing right next to you. And I've been watching the cameras. You've been alone at that gate for 2 hours." I felt like I was losing my mind. Was I hallucinating? I walked slowly back toward my gate to retrieve my jacket, checking every corner. When I got back to my seat, I saw something I hadn't noticed before. Lying directly under the chair I had been sitting in was a phone. A cheap, black burner phone. Its screen was glowing. I reached down and picked it up. It wasn't locked. The screen showed a live video feed. It was a live stream from inside my apartment back home. I could see my living room. And then, my own personal phone, the one in my pocket, started ringing. I answered it, my hand shaking. A voice, digitally distorted and mechanical, spoke into my ear.
"You found the package. Good. Now, put the burner phone in your bag and walk to gate C4. Do not talk to security again. If you disconnect, my associate inside your house will visit your bedroom."
I looked at the security guard in the distance, then down at the phone showing my home. I put the phone in my bag and started walking. I didn't have a choice.